Let's go. All right. So we got a special guest.
Oh man, everybody
We got a special guest because Thursday's supposed to be Boss Candy, but Candy came in late. So we got the OC in the building, man. Let's get it, dog.
Salute, man. Get in here, smash the like button. Tell your loved ones and friends to tune in for the latest and greatest in Cowboy sports and news.
Yeah, man. Because we are the greatest, dog. Yes, we are.
Yeah.
So, yeah, man. Obviously, we got a lot to talk about, man. It's been a lot. It's been very newsworthy today. Today just went crazy, you know? It's
yes, sir.
Yeah, we got news of T. Smith on right tackle. We got Odell Beckham stuff. And, of course, that's going to come back out. We knew that. So, yeah, but today we're going to be dealing with all of it. This is supposed to be a show where we was going to talk about only Kellen Moore runs the ball on a quota. But now we got to talk about this right tackle. So we added T. Smith to the equation. So we talking about that. We're going to talk about it all, man. What's your thoughts real quick, man? Don't give away the content, but what's your general thoughts, bro, on just today?
All right, well, general thoughts on today would just be interesting times, man. Interesting times.
Yeah, it's very interesting. Yeah.
You got to tune in to hear the rest of it, but very, very interesting, to say the least.
And I will say this too, this Kellen Moore stuff that we gonna talk about, for all the fans that just super love positivity, we cool with that. So if you start getting nervous at the end, I'm gonna save that to the end. We gonna talk about all the good news first. And we gonna talk about Kellen Moore last. Is that a deal? All right, let's do it. But y'all sit back. Let me get this plane ready. I'll be right back. Let's go. Yeah. We got OC in the building. Let's go. I see y'all coming in. Trips. Yeah. Queens, Sin City, D.A. Lee. We in the building, D.A. Lee. Jonathan Taylor, James Ruff, out there driving trucks. Be careful, big brother. Be careful, man, on the road, man. Y'all send some prayers up to James, man. He driving. Life's crazy. Boy, it is. Let's get it, y'all. Let's go. All right. OC
Data,
and Boss.
Yoda, thank you for the super chat, man. Thank you for that seed and deposit, getting the super chat started nice and early. Data Yoga, we appreciate you. Listen, guys, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Don't forget to share, man, as we get started, and follow Boss Cowboy Sports on all platforms: YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Follow the OC100 on Twitter. Let's get into it, boss.
All right, bro. So let's just come off the top turnbuckle. So Michael Gilkin actually officially dropped. He said Cowboys Tyron Smith is expected to play and possibly start at right tackle Sunday versus the Jags. Oh my. For the first time since 2011, his rookie season, the longtime left tackle looks ambidextrous in practice. OC, talk to us. Oh,
well, man, this says several things, that The Cowboys are committed to the long-term development of Tyron Smith on the left side of that offensive line. And the Cowboys really know what time it is, whether they admit it to us or not. Tyron Smith, and I've said this before, he hasn't been perfect, but he's had a really, really good rookie year. And he's been solid, and he's been fantastic pretty much the whole year, save a game or two. Also, if you look at the injury, right, to Tyron Smith, playing right tackle is going to be quicker, shorter sets. He doesn't have to operate as much in space, and it very well could be a tool to develop him and to get him acclimated with the least amount of pressure as possible, or maybe straining and stretching out that hamstring too much to come back. So, I think that in some regards, it's a smart move in the sense of trying to work him in with the least amount of pass pro stress. And then it's also a smart move in the sense that you don't disrupt the growth, you don't disrupt the reps and the maturation of the first round draft pick, Tyron Smith, playing on the left side, in particular left tackle on that line. So I think that it could go very, very well for the Cowboys because you don't have a deficit at left tackle at this point. You do technically have a deficit when you look at the right tackle position and trying to figure that out. So that's my take initially.
So one of the things that he also brought up is the term ambidextrous, which is exponential at tackle. Exponential. Could you please take your time and fully expound on why that makes cross training just super ideal for an athlete that's ambidextrous at tackle? Please take your time, please.
Yeah, so ambidextrous, when you talk about that, you're really talking about the ability to be just as strong on your right hand and your left hand, or in tackle from the right tackle position and the left tackle position. And so if you really think about, and I've explained this before on different shows, but I'll break it down just for the new subscribers and just as a recap. If you talk about playing right tackle, you really are talking about a shorter area to engagement, and you're talking about shorter sets, and you're not playing quite as much in space because typically you're playing on the strong side or the predominant run side of the offensive line. When you play left tackle, you're playing more true ISO ball, and it's the blind side, which means that the edges are a little bit wider. You have to play with a lot of width and depth. And playing right tackle, you can just play with just a quick wide set. You can play with a quick, two-step kick for depth, and pretty much in most cases be fine because the angles are just a little bit different playing left to right. Now, in terms of the Dallas Cowboys and being a cross-training offensive line, really what you see now is the ability for everybody to have what Jerry Jones called position flex, meaning that we can play you on either side. We can play you in either position. You can have Tyron Smith, obviously, he's a Pro Bowl Hall of Fame left tackle guy playing right tackle. You could easily move him back to left if need be. You can have Jason Peters play left or right tackle. You also can have Jason Peters play guard if need be. We know that you can have Tyron Smith play guard. He's played guard up until really the start of the season, all in the preseason. He can play guard or tackle. Then you have Connor Williams, who can play either guard and center. And then you have Tyler Biadasz, who really is a center. And then you have Zach Martin that will be at right guard, but theoretically, as we talked about a couple days ago, he could play a right tackle position. So with that, you just really shoring up all of your options, and you can really play matchup football. If you wanted to, you could bump somebody inside or outside just based upon a game and just based upon a tough matchup. You could do that and not really feel bad about it or be concerned about a guy not having the reps there because of the fact that everybody's playing different positions. Everybody is ready to play ball, no matter where you put them. So
expound
that's
on
my
that
take
just
on
a
the matter.
little bit more. Just expound on that just a
Yeah,
little bit more.
so in particular, like if you have like an Aaron Donald situation, right, or if you have a Grady situation, a strong defensive tackle from the Atlanta Falcons, or if you have a Vita Vea situation, a guy from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers who's a strong defensive lineman, like as an example, right, if you needed to, you could just easily insert Jason Peters, at left guard, as an example. If you had, and I know this guy, he's still a fantastic pass rusher, but let's just say as an example, if you're playing one of the Watt brothers, if you're playing TJ Watt, right, and he's starting over your left tackle, right, and you don't want to have Tyler Smith out there because he's a rookie. Well, now let's say as an example, you switched Tyron Smith, assuming he may play or start at right tackle this week. You switch him from right all the way back to the left tackle, no problem, because he's the veteran Hall of Fame level pass protector versus the premier pass rusher. So you can actually play matchup football, which is a really novel concept that some teams really don't do. But, your elite teams, the Patriots did this back in their heyday when they were really making a lot of playoff runs. They would switch offensive linemen around based upon the position of the defenders that could really hurt them and put their stronger offensive linemen really, really in position to stop people or neutralize people that could cause the most damage. And so the Cowboys, what they're doing, they're building a machine here to where they're able to really do that effectively.
Yeah, so one of the things we talked about, OC, that's crazy to see that the Dallas Cowboys are implementing is major cross training. Now, it was a whole lot of people that hated it when we was talking about it. Like, we did a video where the OC and I tag teamed, and we said the Dallas Cowboys and fans need to divorce old offensive line theories, because most of us, or most people, don't agree with cross training at all. But we are aggressive at it this year like I've never seen, and I think they're doing a good job of it. Another thing that we warned about, that I still want to warn about, is learning from Tyron Smith for Jason Peters. Because we did this breaking down the fact that there should have been major contingency plans in place given both of those guys injury history. Can you go over that real quick, OC, and then we'll go through all the options?
Yeah, I mean, what you've really seen is that when you brought in Jason Peters, it was really because of the fact that you had, Tyron Smith get hurt, and you didn't know how good Tyler Smith was going to play.
Right.
So Tyler Smith exceeded expectations by, 10 or 15 miles, right? Because they probably projected him not to really be ready at the left tackle position. And this guy came in and he played, right tackle, I would say just as good, if not better, as he played at Tulsa, right? And so now you got a guy that is retired, that's sitting on a form in East Texas or his property, and then he has to come to camp, try to get in shape. And then you have the injury history over the last, now I believe, 5 straight seasons where you had Tyron Smith miss 4+ games. And so we even talked about this. If you followed this channel since we started, we talked about this a couple years ago. We said, hey, look, at this point, we have consecutive years of an injury history with Tyron Smith, not taking nothing away from him. He's a great player, one of the best in the league, when healthy overall, when he, and really great at his craft, right? No doubt about it. But however, just for a contingency and to not have just glaring weaknesses, then you need somebody else, and you probably should draft a tackle. We said that when Terrence Steele was an undrafted free agent, and he struggled his freshman year, his rookie year, and was really getting his butt kicked. And that was really the developmental reps that he needed to really turn into the tackle that he is today. Unfortunately, he's going to be out for the rest of the year with the ACL tear. But we've been talking about this for a couple years. And so now we're starting to see the Cowboys implement some of this stuff. But the only weakness to this Boss Cowboy that I see, this is the weakness. The weakness is that we really have not invested quality draft picks in terms of the capital to get the type of guy that can come in here and start and really play ball. Because if you look at Matt Waletzko and you look at Josh Ball, you look at those draft picks in particular, okay, those are below expectation in terms of guys that are really not ready to be inserted and play. And unfortunately, Matt Waletzko with the shoulder injury, but Josh Ball from a developmental perspective is not ready. The best pick over the last 3 years that the Cowboys drafted really was Connor McGovern. All right, that third round pick out of Penn State. He was the best guy. But other than that, they haven't really invested the quality draft capital. Because if you go back and look, besides Zach Martin being drafted in the first round, who did they draft? First round, it's looking like he's going to be a great player for years to come, Tyron Smith. So I think that the Cowboys need to make a concerted effort to draft and invest up front quality picks from that offensive line perspective.
Yeah, I think they are definitely going in the right direction. I do feel good about Matt Waletzko. You know, I think they took too long to decide to allow him to have the surgery. I think that was a tremendous mistake. And they wasted a roster spot not giving that to Avion Collins. It was just a total waste. My fear is this, OC, because I want to sleep good at night. There's some people making light of the contingency plan between Jason Peters and T. Smith. It's like everything gonna be okay. Just start Peters or start T. Smith over there and we gonna be fine. Now, I think you got to take that contingency plan very serious. And I want to start the conversation, and it should be way more talk of the contingency plan. Because the fact that we warned about this early, saying learning from Tyron Smith for Jason Peters, you really now got to be preparing for either one or both to go down almost at any moment. What's your thoughts on that?
Well, you know, is really no thoughts I could say. Unfortunately, you got age and injury history, right?
Yep.
And so what happens when you get injured? Well, the more you get injured, it becomes a greater likelihood that you're going to get injured again, man. It's like getting a divorce, you know. You get a divorce, you know, well, your chances of making it in your second marriage are cut in half. If you get a second divorce, your chances are 25%. You get a third divorce, where your chances to be married to anybody is like non-existent. It's almost like that. And so as your body ages and as you have more ailments, then you really have to look at not the if, Boss Cowboy. You got to really start to look at the when, right? When am I going to have to replace this guy? When is he going to get injured? So now you start to have conversations about how long, how many games am I going to get out of this guy? Because if I'm the offensive line coach and I'm looking at this, that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking about, man, how many games can I get out of Tyron Smith right now? How many games can I trust? And if I get more than that, it's bonus, right? If I, you know, how many real full games? Because I haven't really think about this. You hadn't got a full game out of Jason Peters yet. And I don't know why people saying, man, you go throw him in the right time, he could be okay. I'm not hating on him. I think he's a great, again, borderline, pretty much Hall of Fame type player. But at the same time, he hadn't played and started a full game. Not yet. So that remains to be seen.
Well, somebody said with a super chat, appreciate it. He said the OCB on it. Yeah, the homie on it. That's why I'm sitting back. I'm letting him break down his offensive line stuff. I ain't got nothing to say to it. But I think that ambidextrous is key. That's one of the most important things. And it's, to me, showing how great the common sense is with our organization as of late. As of late, yes, we are moving in very good common sense. The fact that they focused on, because only certain athletes are ambidextrous anyway. But when you're ambidextrous at tackle, it makes that transition that much easier. Now, I want to kind of spin it to something else real quick. OC, also with T. Smith. What does this mean to the future of T. Smith?
It means that, man, we trying to figure out a way how to extend your career and keep you a Cowboy.
You think so?
That's what I think. Yeah, man. I think that because, dude, we got a young tackle. We believe in him. He's doing well. You know, hey, if we need to put you here, right, we can put you here. You can hold up. You can be great. And then think about this. And it's really smart, too. I want to give credit where credit's due. It's really smart by the Cowboys because when did Terrence Steele tear his ACL? Unfortunately, in December. So you can pretty much count him out pretty much for next season. Pretty much. He may come back and play a couple games at the end, but you can't count on Terrence Steele being ready to go at 320 pounds and moving the way he moves and playing the way he plays. You can't count on him to be ready in August.
What?
I don't think. No, listen, boss. I'm telling
listening.
You. Yeah, I don't count on him having an ACL surgery. Presumably so right now. Coming back, rehabbing, and being 100% ready to rock and roll in August? And with a 330-pound body, moving the way he moves, left and right, and having the same power that he plays with, he may play earlier in the season. I'm not saying he won't play. I think that he's at least halfway through the season before he really should be playing, in my opinion. Oh, my. So really, you set yourself – this is my opinion. Now, I could be proven wrong. Woo. Yeah, I could be proven wrong and he can come back faster, but I think you can't count on that. I don't think you should just put all your eggs in that bag. Oh, he gonna come back. You got to see how his rehab goes. You got to see how his body is, right? And now you insulating your wrist, right? Now you're hedging your bets. You say, okay, look, Tyron Smith, hey, you can play with some right tackle too. We okay at left. You know, Tyler can handle that. And obviously you can always put Tyron Smith back at the left tackle position. But you doing two things in one. You working him back in, right? And a shout out to Tedy, ACL and MCL injury. So he injured the ACL and the MCL, right? That's almost a total torn knee. The only other ligament that you got is a PCL. So you got your ACL, your MCL, and your PCL. So he had surgery on 2 out of the 3 main ligaments that's holding your knee together. So this man may need a little bit of time, man. And I'm not saying, hey, hopefully he's great, but I'm just saying. So at the end of the day, you are helping Tyron Smith work back in, okay? And then you're hedging your bets for the future by having him be able to play right tackle and help your team and possibly extend his career and tenure with the Cowboys.
All right. I thought I was getting ready to bounce off of this, but I want to kind of stay here for a little while longer because with what you just said, we getting ready to see a lot of developmental reps, not just now, but going into next year massively. So first, obviously, there's been some rumors on Josh Ball could potentially also be a candidate to rotate at right tackle. Obviously, that's not happening with this news that's going on with T. Smith. But it was rumors of Josh Ball potentially rotating with Jason Peters. What's your thoughts on that and the future of Josh Ball now and going into next year, given that you just said it's going to probably be a while for Steele to come back?
You know, I hate to, I always want to give people the opportunity to grow. Mm-hmm. And I always want to be fair balance. Mm-hmm. But, I mean, this is an almost common sense question. If you had Jason Peters or if you had Tyron Smith that can play right tackle, where's Josh Ball going to be? He's going to be on that bench, you know? He's going to be on the bench. So I think that, you know, Josh Ball got a lot of work to do. And I think that, man, he has to work on his strength, his core. He has to work on his feet. He just has a lot of work that he has to do, and I think he's going to have to come out and compete and prove in the preseason next year that he's viable. He's going to have to play great to make this roster and stay on his team, especially if they draft another offensive lineman, and especially if Matt Walensko comes back and shows any type of improvement and improvement on kind of what you saw him do in camp this year. It's going to be even harder for him to get on the field. Especially if they keep on Vontae Collins on this roster. He gets a chance to settle in, right, and continue to work at tackle and guard. then Josh Ball looks like he could be the odd man out unless he has some dramatic improvement, man. Now, if you want to now Steven likes him, right? Let me say this, because anything can happen. This is the Cowboys. If you want to force it, and put him out there, you can. And then life is like a box of chocolates. Then you never know what you're gonna get. So it's a box of chocolates, man. You don't know, right? But just realistically speaking, honestly speaking, that's what it is.
Yeah, because obviously Stephen Jones loves his draft picks. And it's so obvious the way that he managing his tackle situation. It's just so obvious, and that's the dangerous part of the budget guy. Mr. Budget Man. He's so locked in and tight butt on budgets that sometimes I think he can miss the bigger picture of what it's about. There's no Super Bowl for cap savings.
Facts.
You don't get a trophy for who saved the most money. You know what I mean?
No.
So it's scary to see that how he'll risk even that for a growth plan to where he's, to me, at times overreaching. You had a 3-year player in Avante or Avion. I don't know what his name is. I'm gonna say Avion today. But
Avante Collins.
I think it's, bro. I heard Avante.
I think it's Avante, man. I don't think it's Avion. It's not Avion because you got a T and an E at the end of his name.
It might be silent. His mama and daddy might have been
No,
bougie.
it's not silent. That T is not silent. Come on now.
It
that
might
T
be,
is not
bro.
silent.
You know how some of us
Avion.
are. It is Avion with a silent T. You know how we do, bro. Come on now, bro. Listen, bro. I'm not lying, bro. You know how we do. It's a silent T. But to watch how Steven managing this is crazy. It's like, bro, like literally you got a player with reps, pro reps, and you deciding to put all your weight on the younger guys. And it's not like he's not young. He's still in his first contract. That's still a good deal. But it's like, I gotta go way cheap. I gotta go super cheap, and they have to be my guys.
Yeah. It's just, the truth will set you free. And, at the end of the day, what happened at the end of that Texas game? Ball got snatched. Peters went in, and then we won the game. So, at the end of the day, ball don't lie. And if he out there in critical situations and he getting sauced up, he's gonna get his butt snatched. And then it's only so many press conferences that you go answer questions about Josh Ball before he's just on that bench. So That's just, it is what it is, man.
Right. Well, I still feel better because at least Jason Peters and T. Smith at this point are healthy. So for the short term, we got some insurance. But I think we should be very aggressive on the contingency plans, because we would be foolish to trust them for a 7 or 8 game run.
Yeah,
both of them, not just one, both.
Yeah, and look, hopefully, like I say, you got to plan on, hey, if you can get 4 out of T. Smith, man, great. If you can get, I would say 3 to 4 good starts out of Jason Peters, I think that, man, you got your money's worth, but at the end of the day, man, you got to have a strong contingency, and I think the Cowboys do. The Cowboys do have strong enough contingencies, and the thing is that they're not going to really play Avante Collins the way I think they should. And if your contingency is Josh Ball, and let's just go on the realistic side of that, shout out to Big Game James on that, look, then you probably do need to give Josh Ball the developmental reps so that he can get better for whenever you actually do play him, since you're so committed to playing this guy regardless of what, which I think that this is what's going on right now.
All right, so I know you got to get out of here and within 5 minutes, so let's do the next parts in rapid fire. All right, real quick.
Yeah, man. I got a little time. I'll let you know.
Okay, cool. All right, so then the next one is Michael Parsons. All right, let's just talk about that real quick, because there's just a lot of stuff going on. People want to kind of maybe hear our commentary on it. But Michael Parsons came out and he was, on a podcast, and Jay Tuck said it right. Jay Tuck, he just wise. He said, you got to really watch it on podcasts because that's where you let your hair down. You know what I mean? But it's when you talking to the national media and they have all the mics in your face, that's when most of the players are buttoned up. So obviously that clip of what he said about Hurts has been going around, but then he responded to it. Let me read it and then let's talk about it. Cowboys Michael Parsons on blowback for Jalen Hurts MVP comments. He said, I'm sure they hate me. But, man, I like Mike. I ain't gonna lie, man. I like Mike. We gonna talk about this though, but it's funny. He said, I'm sure they hate me, Parsons said. You've got to stand on everything you say, just as a man. Obviously, they small clipped it and took one line of what was radically talked about. No disrespect to Hurts. I think he's doing great this year, but you know me. I'm a defensive guy, and I said the Eagles defense is the team to watch. This is the first time. He said nothing towards no quarterbacks or anything like that. Parsons said it's about most valuable player and what people bring to their team. That's what the conversation was about.
I mean, Michael Parsons is he's just good enough to say what he wants and get away with it, basically. Other people would have been fined or cut and stuff like that, but Michael Parsons is just on that level where he's like, hey man, I'm gonna stand on my two and I'm gonna say what I really think about the situation. I don't really care what y'all say, and unless it's with some criticism from the Jones family, which obviously it really hasn't, because I don't think they care that much about it, then man, he's just gonna be like, man, it is what it is. I said what I said. I think what I think, and so I respect him for saying his real opinion about it. On an endorsement and a being politically correct level. Could he clean some stuff up? Yeah, but I think that'll come with age and time, man. And shout out to Mucho Boon-Ins with the $4.99 super chat, man. Salute, fellas. Love the work y'all putting in. Appreciate y'all. Appreciate you, Mucho Boomin. Yeah, Boomin, I think is what it is. And appreciate your brother for the super chat, man. Thanks for supporting the channel.
Now, let's talk about the other side of this, because I tweeted, and my boy Big Game James liked what I said, because I said, Muhammad Ali, I was super cool with him talking before fights because he only had to watch his own back. The problem with Micah talking before games is sometimes your teammates got to cash the checks that you wrote, big dog. What's your thoughts on that?
I think that Michael Parsons is responsible for his own play, and everybody on the defense is professional. Right? They're professional football players. So everybody, in my opinion, I hear what you're saying in concept, but in context, Michael Parsons is responsible for his own play. And Michael Parsons needs to show up this week because, he didn't do too much against the Texans. And for whatever reason, he was not able to really be effective and impact that game. So Michael Parsons has to be concerned about that more than anything else and have the consistent impact and not have games here or there where basically they scheme him enough or do whatever to make him kind of disappear. So that's what I think. I think that it's okay. I think that it don't matter what you say. You got to go out there and play, and these guys are fighting for their lives and their contracts, and they better go out there and do their best anyway.
Yeah, bro. Get the likes up, everybody. Let's get the likes. Yeah, get the likes up. See, OC. See, I think you're missing what I'm saying, bro.
Okay.
See, because I know Micah can handle his own back. Mm-hmm. It's not about Micah, though. So when you put stuff like out there and and it's not that he was insulting Hurts. He was keeping it real on what an MVP is. He was talking in context. He was just letting his feet down, talking like we talking barbershops. Like, if you go give somebody the MVP, is it really them or is it the defense? It's a straight up conversation you should have regarding MVP. But it's a such thing as bulletin board material, and you know this just as well as I do that we use anything to motivate us. So that's what
That's
I'm talking.
true.
That's what I'm talking about. Is him saying stuff like that. He wrote the check, but Diggs and them gonna have to cash it. And I ain't saying they
Yeah.
can't, but everybody ain't built like Parsons and Muhammad Ali, where you in the GOAT conversation. Some of these athletes are just starters. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
So I want this.
Well,
Go ahead.
I'm gonna tell you, bro, because I see it just a little bit different than you. I mean,
Okay.
shoot, bulletin board material, man. Them getting whooped by the Eagles that first game should be bulletin board material. They should be extremely motivated and hyped to play this game, man. Shout out to William Blackwell with a $9.99 super chat. Appreciate you. If I'm Steven, I'm going to steal and slide in him a piece of paper with a fair contract extension offer on it. Yeah, man, the getting is real good. To your point, William Blackwell, that, man, you could definitely probably get a team for the deal right now because he wants that security and he just tore up his knee. So if you're an opportunist and you super smart, yeah, you try to go ahead and work something out with him right now when he's down on his luck. But if you get healthy and he come out here and he ball, you know, if he come out here and if he play good for 5 or 6 games next year, then the price goes exponentially up. But if you go ahead and lock them down right now, yeah, that's really smart. So I like the super chat, William. Appreciate that.
Yeah.
But back to what I was saying. Listen, you should be hyper motivated, Boss Cowboy. You shouldn't. You hope they hyped up. You want to go and get that dub. You want to solidify yourself, get real close to the playoffs, Boss Cowboy, and you want to whoop the Eagles. You want to prove that you the class of the NFC East, and the only way you go do it is to whoop those Eagles, because the Eagles put them things on the Cowboys just straight up. And Jalen Hurts was one of the reasons why. And Micah Parsons, while he running his mouth, he better play that RPO right. Because when you see Jalen Hurts hold that football out, you better go hit Jalen Hurts and stop trying to make 5 plays in one and try to play every single position. So that's what I think, man. I think they should already be motivated. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, and then a lot of the chat saying they like it. Like Bruschi, I like to talk. The league too friendly right now. And then Tariq said this is a rivalry game. Did you hear what they was saying about us after the game on the internet? I'm glad Michael Parsons said that I'm tired this team being soft. We want to play with big boys. I hear you. I just would want him to smack them when he see them.
But boss, you know this, man. And you an old player, man. You a Carter boy. I mean, I'm surprised to see this from you. You a Dallas Carter boy. You know what I'm saying? I mean, talking crap was an art form. Where you came
I
from,
was the best.
You being in your head and doing whatever you
That's
could.
How I played. But I did that to my opponent, though. OC.
Yeah, and he did it to his opponent in a way on a podcast, saying what he thought, saying basically, and it really wasn't that bad. He just was like, man, does the team help Jalen? Does Jalen help the team? And I really think it's kind of both. He was basically saying it ain't all Jalen's skills. It's the team and the offense and the defense is helping Jalen be whatever he is, which in my opinion was just real talk. He just was telling the truth. But if that's bulletin board material, to come on with it, because you know what? It's only one way, Boss Cowboy, and that's the hard way. And you got to go through these boys if you will get the victory. And so you might as well pump it up right now. Let's do it.
Boss,
Ooh,
Bear, stop the cap, bro. Stop. You capping way too hard on this. You scared, boss. I'm strategic. What I'm thinking is I want us to just be the underdog in it. I don't want them motivated at all. That's what I want. Because I don't gotta play. Be hard for the Cowboys. I ain't gotta play, so obviously I ain't scared. But stop all that capping, bro. You tripping, man. I hate Philly, and there ain't nobody. I ain't gonna say that, but so man, y'all ain't see me trying to get Lord Brunson to come in and fight, man. And I got a fight scheduled with Philly Monday. I got 2 fights. Yeah, and it be me going against all day content creators. Yeah, bro. Yeah. Anyway, ain't no scared, bro. It's just I'm thinking. It's like, bro, I don't like to give nobody no motivation. See, because I like us as underdogs. I love it. I love it when people think they better than us. I think we play better that way. So, now, obviously, bro, I want to spend literally very few seconds on this. Like maybe 2 minutes between both of us. But Odell Beckham coming up again. What's your thoughts on that, bro?
Odell Beckham got to prove that his leg is okay and he can run. Other than that, he doesn't deserve to be talked about in terms of being signed by the Cowboys.
Thank you.
That is my 15-second blurb about Odell Beckham, and that's all I really got to say.
I don't think we should talk about Odell Beckham to 4 more weeks. I mean, not even one conversation. I'm sick of it. It's, to me, makes no sense to keep bringing him up. When he said himself it's going to be 5 weeks before I'm healthy, well, I ain't got nothing to say about you or to you into 5 weeks.
And I wasn't even talking about him then until I see a video of him running, and he ain't running with a limp.
Yeah,
it's just...
Yeah, man. Like my boy James said, we don't need OBJ. Like I'm sick of this. It's annoying. And Jerry,
just milking it.
Yeah, and you milking it, Jerry. This is the problem I have with this milk. You just signed Ty, but you're talking about Odell Beckham.
Way to play mind games with your new signee, man. Make him feel bad about himself. Way to make him feel unimportant. Way to make Ty feel unimportant. But Ty got to come out there motivated, because you know what, Ty? Welcome to Dallas, Texas. This is the Cowboy way. This is the Cowboy way.
Bro, it's like this shows publicity money is first in Dallas. It's first. They don't care. Mm-hmm. They would do anything and throw anybody under the bus for publicity. They have proven it. It's a fact.
Yeah. Shout out to Coach Marv, man, with the $5 super chat. Playbook Cowboys earn the right to talk first. Focus on the Jags. First, focus. Let grass talk.
Yeah.
All right, Coach Marv, salute.
Yeah.
Appreciate it, Coach.
Appreciate it, Coach. All right, so now we got some. Let's talk about real quick the new signing, because I got some film on him. Trayvon Mullen. So with Trayvon, he is our type of corner. Big corner, fast. He was also high on the Dallas Cowboys draft list, and he was somebody that they really want to get their hands on. So I got some film on him, man. Let's break this down real quick, OC. Give me 1 second. Let's get you queued up. Let's see if I got your film music. Give me 1 second.
Yes, sir.
There it is. All right, let's go.
The film breakdown.
We giving you our full plate. All right, here we go.
All right, let's take a look at Mr. Trayvon. See what he's working with, man. He's playing off man coverage, and here he is, playing very safe off man. Comes up, makes a tackle. Nothing impressive there. He's playing out to get beat on a deep route. Hits the guy, caused the fumble. Good contact.
Yeah, good contact.
But good contact, but nothing too impressive.
Yeah, and then let me break down that first play too, just on the technical side. When I'm looking at his technique, I'm seeing some things that he's not doing. The first thing that he's not doing what's called a read step. And that's where you take your time in your first back pedal, because what you're really supposed to be doing is reading the quarterback, and you use that read step as an opportunity to do that. He doesn't take a read step. He gets right into his back pedal, which creates too much cushion. And it makes no sense with a short split like that for him to be playing outside leverage that much. So he's automatically just on his alignment giving up the inside, which is crazy. And then that's just way too much space when you don't take a read step, and that's an easy pitch and catch. The bad thing, the good thing, like you said, was his tackle, which he dislodged the ball, but the bad thing was the space.
And also from a technical nuance part, and you're the better at me than this on the DBs. It appears that his hips are a little bit tight
Yep.
on the turn. I don't see him really swinging. So it looks like he's playing a little bit with tight hips. He's a bigger,
Yep.
taller guy.
Yep.
Look like the hips are a little bit not as fluid.
Yep, that's facts, bro. I see that just the same. I see that stiffness in his hips. This don't mean you can't work that out of him, but with us having corner issues, I want to give people recent tape on him and break it down.
Mm-hmm.
So I go first and you go second.
Quick.
So the thing I like about him a lot is he reads, because I know what he's looking at right now. He looking at the tight end, and as soon as the tight end blocks down, he feels. I like that in the corner. He feels quick too. I like that.
Fast.
Yeah, I like that. See, that's one thing I do like is when I don't like no corner that don't read his keys. He read that block down from the tight end and he goes. See, a corner like this will help you on the edge. We got us a super chat from Tyrone. Let me.
Yeah, man. Tyron Church. Why people hate KJ and Bland give up plays too? Yeah, I understand, man. Those are young tackles. Those are young cornerbacks. And man, they developmental, man, but their upside looks real good. But man, salute, man. Thank you so much for the super chat.
And let me answer that question because people got favorites. Because what he said was a fact. People be, I don't trust Kevin Joseph. It's something about Kevin Joseph that scares me. The person that got the biggest plays on them out the two is Bland. That's true. So I think some people fall for the trick of Jerry Jones is when they bet on you, they do everything to be right. I see it all the time.
Right.
All right, so we got him up here at the top left. One thing that's gonna happen again is once again he's not gonna take a read step. He gonna get right into that back pedal, and it's gonna be stiff. But I like his break. So if you watch him, you gonna see no read step. But that break is good. He came out his break good. But when you don't take no read step, you go always have easy separation. Always.
So, yeah, and one thing I just noticed on this film, I mean, we've only watched a couple plays, but let me watch one more before I state it. Okay. So now we got him more in a press man coverage position.
Yeah. Good tackle with face mask. It's all good. I ain't tripping. Why do Arizona play outside leverage?
And that's what I was gonna say. Why do they play 10 yards off on everybody?
Yeah, it's
like why is he always playing off? I don't understand that.
Yeah.
Because I mean, who scares you? What wide receiver scares you from the Patriots? I don't understand why he's playing off so much. That's just a question I had. Maybe I'm missing something.
I do like this play because the hustle is terrific. I love it. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you see that South Carolina, Alabama, Georgia athlete. You know what I'm saying? Big old 200-pound dude that can run. That dude can run. Look at it. That dude got wheels. He can run.
Yeah, he can run. Yeah, you see that 4.4 speed, bro. You can see that speed.
That dude can run.
Yeah,
that dude can run.
Yeah. I like Al Harris with him. I think Al Harris go coach him up. I really do. So this
and maybe Al sees something and say, I can fix him. You know what I'm saying? Because Al was a tall, big corner. A tall, long corner.
Yep. And see, this is another time where he don't take a read step. He don't take that read step, and it causes separation. It's if you playing that far off, why are you backpedaling? Just let him come to you. Let him eat up that cushion, and it's outside leverage, bro. That's crazy. I don't know if that's Arizona or him, but it's stupid. Like, how you go play man coverage playing the man on the outside? That's crazy. Like, and see, all of these plays he give up too much cushion. That's my only knock on him. Is he always giving up just too much cushion for nothing? See, right there, he should be aiming to be stride for stride. Right there. Like once he break his cushion, you need to now start making sure you're in his hip. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he's always playing 9, 10 yards off, man. I don't. Like I said, I don't know if that's what his coach told him to do. I don't know. I'm not sure. You know, what I mean, I don't have enough information to say, but this guy's playing almost 10 yards off versus not really good receivers. You know, and a dude. You know, I mean, I don't. You know, I don't know.
All right.
I don't know about this one.
All right. So next, I'm getting ready to get into this Kellen Moore drama. Can you hang? Cause
I'm gonna hang. I'm gonna give you 10 more minutes. Yes,
all
sir.
right. All right. So here we go. So obviously, I want to talk about all the good stuff first, and then. But we here to talk about Kellen Moore, and because we gonna keep the pressure up on him. This is about pressure. We want to apply pressure to Kellen. It's important to apply pressure to Kellen, because Kellen is the risk and the major risk to this team. Can you expound on that real quick, OC?
Yeah, man. When you talk about risk to the team, man, you just talk about the motivation for why he does what he does. And, you know, going back to earlier in the year in the press conference, Kellen Moore would talk about, you know, everything in me wanted to throw the football and you live and you learn. Well, Kellen Moore's DNA is to really toss the ball around the football field, and that's what he really enjoys doing. The issue is not him passing the ball. The issue is establishing the run identity and physicality, and also preserving the defense by not getting 3 and outs because you are starting the game or you're throwing the ball in wrong situations. And I'll give you a couple of examples. We came out and we threw the ball versus the Texans in the first half twice as many times as we ran the ball. And then when our run carries caught up and really overtook and it was equal to our passing game in the second half, well, we ended up winning the game. But, you know, earlier in the game, it was a much, much closer game. It was a close game all the way throughout. But things like that, in terms of the Cowboys' strengths, it gets us off rhythm. And it's something that works against the defense in terms of getting stops early in the game. Because if you play a good team and you go 3 and out, right, then that team is on the football field a lot with your defense, and they're winning the time of possession. And then it ends up, in our experience this year, and I'm just talking about this year, it ends up translating with points on the board. Yeah, so James Ruff, I didn't read that comment. Said we're 26 in time of possession. Yeah, great comment, James. And you know, we can control the ball, you know, if we take care of our business.
Yeah. So we all heard what Tedy Bruschi talked about, right? So we all heard it. So it's very important that we set the record straight, that we also said it before Tedy, but this is not about I told you so. We seeing a pattern. So we go talk about the days in which we said exactly what Tedy said regarding Kellen Moore, and we go break down why. So this particular video that I'm getting ready to play is literally from a month ago. Exactly. So listen.
Is he subconsciously trying to compete against these guys through his quarterbacks and through his play calling versus just being efficient and calling a proper game? He's trying to prove he's a big shot versus the big time players in certain teams. That's just an opinion of mine.
I think he's trying to get a job. I think it's his ultimate selfishness. Because we all kicking around and spitballing theories of why he keep doing this at this point, right?
Right.
But that would be my theory.
Do you feel like he got to do it with Dak? Do you feel like he has to do it, or did he?
I think he's trying to go back to the
Cooper
days.
Rush?
I'm being honest, and he did do it with Cooper Rush when we lost against Philly.
But not to. I know he did in Philly. I'm saying he did in Philly.
Mm-hmm.
But what I'm saying is, do you feel like because he has Dak and he has a quote unquote franchise quarterback, does that you feel like give him more the urge to throw the ball?
Yes.
Yeah.
Cause see, he crazy. I'm just gonna say it. He's a crazy dog. Listen, y'all, he crazy. Listen, he did this with DiNucci. He did that with DiNucci, man. He did it with Gilbert. He does it with everybody. He was only forced to run the ball with Cooper Rush. And the moment they let that dog loose, he went ape crazy. Soon as he got any little deficit, he just can't help it, bro. Man. He just can't. And I'm never trusting him. I'm sorry. I'm being real. You can't continue to lose the same way when you've been winning the same way.
Right.
You got all these wins with a backup, and then you say, you know what I'm gonna do? Opposite of what was working, bro. Nah, I ain't feeling you, bro. That's why I think he's trying to get a job. Because remember what was happening last year. What was they saying? He's genius. Kellen Moore, he's the next head coach for a year. What does that equate to? Money.
Yeah.
Ching ching. Money. You know what I'm saying? This is about money, man. And I think that dude being selfish. I'm just being so real. You know what I'm saying? Because look, and it's obvious, he not only passing too much, he passing at the wrong times. And he been doing it since Tampa. And the only times he don't do it is when they tie his hands and they lock him down. That's the only time. The moment they give him any amount of freedom, he go crazy. And it's obvious.
And he don't run with a purpose. It's not a setup of like, even with the running plays, it's like, I'm only running to hit a quota. He kind of reminds me. I was on the road.
Boy, that final word goes so hard, boy. Y'all got us messed up. We so underrated. Everybody on there. I mean that too.
Bro, I drove to Mississippi.
Go ahead.
Y'all need to put fire in the chats for Boss Cowboy, man. Boss Cowboy is absurd, man. He is one of the wildest dude in this podcast game. He got a dog on Kellen Moore. He got a dog in the jail. He got a dog jumping too early and mouth hitting the couch falling off. He calls Kellen Moore a wild dog. Boss Cowboy is off the chain, man. That's
He's a wild dog. He is.
He called that boy a wild dog.
We've all seen wild dogs, bro, where you be like, get your dog.
Be all up through Mississippi.
The only thing you haven't done, boss, is play Atomic Dog. That's the only thing.
Man, that is coming, dog. That is coming. But see, this is this is showing we could do any one of them jobs. We was a month ahead on this. Listen,
Texas, and you know how.
And listen to Law going hard. Law talked about hitting the quota. Bro, but listen,
you're right.
And it's obvious.
And he don't run with a purpose. It's not a setup of like, even with the running plays, it's like, I'm only running to hit a quota. He kind of reminds me. I was on the road. I drove to Mississippi, all up through Mississippi, came back to Texas, and you know how you see those police officers just waiting in the lowdown, and they just trying to catch somebody for a quota. That's Kellen Moore. He runs for the quota. He don't runs for the purpose. You know, and
he runs to get it out the way. No, he runs to get it out the way.
Say he did it.
Yeah,
hitting his quota.
And you know, listen, y'all. It's not even just him running. See, and he knows better. Y'all hear me out. He knows better. He said himself. Kellen Moore said himself that he knows from a big picture perspective that you have to protect the strongest part of this team, which is the defense. So all we gotta go do, just keeping it real, is let's look at this. There's no way you come out in the first series like he did in a hurry up offense, no huddle, go 3 and out, then you watch your defense stay on the field for 10 plays, 8 of them they ran it in a row on your D. Your D tired, dog. You know what he does? He comes right there again in another hurry up offense throwing it, and then three and out, and put them back out there for 7 more plays where they kept pounding your D.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna say something.
And explain to them the weather. What was the weather like? Too, it was cold.
The weather itself said,
ball.
the weather everything said run the ball. To see, I know where you going with that. The weather said run the ball. They was ranked 26 going into that game on run D. That said run the ball. It was 10th in pass defense. That said run the ball. All indicators said run the ball, and that dude came out in a hurry up offense throwing, and that is a fact, dog. And they kept putting that defense out there, and that's why they couldn't stop the run. Because we all know them big boys get tired. We all played ball, and we know that. We know if you keep putting big boys out there, especially in the trenches when it's physical, 10 plays in a row, and then 7 plays in a row, they already gassed. That's your play calling, and it was dumb. And I'm just keeping it real. Because, and see, dog, this is the thing that pissed me off the most, and I'm just keeping it all the way real. This is what pisses me off the most.
Man.
This is what pisses me all the way off. When Aaron was so freaking unselfish that even when they was winning on the ground, you know what Aaron said when they called a pass play for him and it wasn't working? He looked right at his head coach. He said, "Run the effing ball." Now we talking about this dude is the GOAT arm talent, hands down. Maybe you can put Mahomes in that debate, but from a career, he has the most arm talent of any quarterback to ever play. And he said, "Don't use me."
Yeah.
Cause we winning on the ground. And Kellen Moore didn't know to do that. Listen, y'all, I'm sorry for being so animated, but it pissed me off.
I went over my curse quota for this month already.
Yeah, so OC, what's your thoughts, bro, on that quota?
No, man, I mean, yeah, he's gonna do what he has to do. But at the end of the day, at any sign of trouble, he wants to pass the ball. Even if he feels like it's a weaker team, he wants to pass the ball. If he gets up in the game and we're trying to close out a game and he feels like he wants to pass the ball. So at the end of the day, just keep it real simple. Kellen Moore just wants to pass that football. And that's just the reality of it, man. And unless you have a different offensive coordinator or something really drastic happens and he gets embarrassed in public, he's going to continue to try to throw that football. So, hopefully we can just manage the situation and let it not get out of control. So shout out to Common Sense Lab with the $2 super chat, man. We appreciate you. Number one offense don't win Super Bowls. You know what? They're really, really good. Thank you, William, for the $9.99 super chat. Appreciate the love. He said he probably won't coach from the box because he don't want to have Quinn in his ear getting on him because front office seems to value Quinn more than Mike McCarthy. All right. That's an interesting comment there, William Blackwell. They definitely show a lot of respect to DQ. And I don't know how they see McCarthy as it relates to him, but they should see Mike McCarthy as the GM because he's invaluable to his organization in terms of the internal success and how you actually are running the team now. How you're trying to run the team, like Mike McCarthy has the team going in a great direction. So that's my opinion on the matter.
And so some might say, why did I come to that conclusion? Right, that he was trying to get a job. Because if we use logic, right, and you going against Green Bay, who at that time was already a weakened team. They was already looking like we could have just totally ended them. So every time an opponent appears to be weak, those are the games that he used to show out. They was ranked 26 on run defense and 10th on pass defense. Everything said run the ball. And he threw it 49 times. I came to that conclusion about him trying to get a job off the Dallas Cowboys because I'm going to zoom in on me. Because nobody is that dumb. He's not dumb. See, Kellen, he's smart. That's why a lot of people considering him for head coach, because he is smart. But see, I can see through you, dog. You smart, but you selfish. You smart, and that's why I was able to peep game on what you doing. He did the same thing against the Texans. The Texans was ranked last in stopping the run. And we threw it 39 times. So there's no strategy that says in those times to run the ball. So that means you have another motive because it's not winning. It's not. What's your thoughts on that?
Man, I can't really add to that, boss. I mean, just 2 + 2 = 2, not 5, you know? So, you know, boss, I really can't add nothing to that, man. You're right. I mean, if you're throwing the ball unnecessarily, then it's because that you're trying to pad your stats so that your resume can look a little bit better whenever you get your next interview. And that's the bottom line.
This is also a week later. All of this was before Tedy. Listen.
Talk to me how we beat the Colts, fam.
I mean, the way that we beat the Colts is to stick to the identity of the Dallas Cowboys, and that's to keep that ball on the ground and embrace the physicality. We have not yet embraced physicality, to be honest, Law. I'm waiting on Kellen Moore to...
Let's talk about that real quick. We have not embraced physicality, OC. How in the world did we spend all off season saying we rebuilt this team based on what happened in the playoffs? Because we know we have to be more physical. We have to establish a physical identity, and we have to, you know, show these guys that we're willing to get dirty in the trenches. Bro, where is that? When are we going to see it?
Well, let me say this. You have seen it in certain games, and those games have been blowouts. You saw it versus Minnesota. I mean, you've seen it in several games, man, and those games have been blowouts because the most physical group on this team is the offensive line. Don't make no mistake about that. Yeah. They are willing to line up and smash you, run ISOs, run traps, run tosses, and hit you in your mouth. So you got guys on your team, that offensive line, they're willing to be physical. Now, the question is not that. The question is, will you utilize the dudes that's willing to get dirty and be committed to the style of play that is best suited for those guys? That's the question. That's the main question. And I'm going to pass the baton to you, Boss Cowboy, because I got to sign out. But, man, that's the question, man. So y'all keep the pressure on, man, straight up.
No, I got it. I'm going to keep the pressure on, man. I'll holler at you, man. That was the OC, man. Y'all stay up, OC. I got it from here. All right, so check this out.
Break out of his past happiness and just accept the fact that we are built to be a physical team.
Yeah.
And we in my opinion, we have not embraced that yet.
Yeah.
We should be seeing that in this last phase in December.
Are we seeing that in this last phase of December? Are we seeing them establish a run identity and a physicality? So everything that they talked about, Kellen Moore is not doing.
You know, that we should be seeing that. So we should, to answer your question, we go in there and we keep that ball on the ground, because I did my analysis on Kellen Moore play calling in New York.
Right.
And this is what I found. Every series to where we wasn't either 50% or 60% on running the ball, we either punt it, didn't get any points out of it, or worse, an interception.
Yeah. See, that's what the thing we gotta watch better. Cause see, I see that's what's tricking a lot of people. They look at the end of a game and they say, "Oh, it looked like Kellen Moore's balance." See, don't look at the end numbers. The way that you really start seeing that he's calling plays on the quota, look at him series by series. That's what you got to do. If you look at him series by series and break it down, you go see that a lot of time he running the ball just to catch up to his quota. And that's why you'll see a whole bunch of passes, then you'll see him get committed to the run, which a lot of times put us back in games. And then he'll go right back to passing. And I'm going to show y'all in just a second that he even admitted it. That's the craziest thing, is he actually tells you that that's what he's doing. I'm going to show y'all that in a minute. But check it out.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But the series in which we ran the ball with a 50% balance or 60%, it always led to 7 or 3 points.
Oh wow!
So it just shows you, in my opinion, when you break Kellen down, that Kellen just need to embrace that, like embrace who we are, and we beat them, and that also rests our defense, because when you rest our defense, you keep our defense elite.
Yeah, I think that they needed us over there. All right, that's a great situation there. Kellen Moore, this is his 4th season calling plays.
Yeah.
I think that he still don't have his true identity.
No.
You know, because he is what my guy, Brian Broader, said, a collector of plays.
Yeah.
And when we look at, like, what the Rams do, what the San Francisco 49ers do, even to a degree of what even the Green Bay do, you know, in a pinch.
Right.
They run the ball.
Right.
And Green Bay, of course, they've been having some snafus, but they come from the same branch. And normally when you come from a certain branch, you come from a certain philosophy.
Right.
Well, Kellen Moore come from the philosophy of Scott Linehan, Jason Garrett. Who Jason Garrett was a run first team guy. So when I think of Kellen Moore, I think that it still is a vertical spread offense.
Yeah.
You know, he comes from more of the Scott Linehan lineage, you know.
Yeah.
So when you're in trouble, you do things that you are comfortable doing.
Yep.
And that is throwing the ball. And unfortunately, that is what Kellen Moore been doing.
Yep.
He throws the ball.
Yep.
Now, how we can get him up out of there? Experience.
I think, and I think it's
growing pains.
And I'm afraid of Kellen because
listen, I said I'm afraid of Kellen. Now this is all before Tedy. Listen,
sometimes ambition is good. Sometimes ambition is dangerous. You know.
Yeah.
So it's like, if I'm too ambitious, you can't trust me.
Fire.
Because I snake you from my own goals.
Right.
So it's, you know, like, to me, I embrace ambition, and especially with people around me, but I also watch ambition when you because see, you know, ambition can make you crazy.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things to where I feared that he was getting all his name in the headlights.
Yeah.
Especially when they were saying he was genius last year and that he's a sure head coach.
Right.
To me, he's overreaching to try to get justification and validation from the play call.
Right.
Versus the win.
Right.
So I would just want.
Yep, it's another Kellen Moore show. And it's going to be like that pretty much every week. For everybody that got a problem with it, I'm sorry. I see this as the #1 risk to the team. So I care about this team. So yeah, I'm going to do Kellen Moore shows until he change. I don't do shows to make people feel good. I'm sorry. I do shows for warnings on what can make us lose 6. That's why, listen, that's why I waited to the end. I told y'all I was going to talk about Kellen Moore. I gave y'all all the sugar in the beginning. But now it's time to talk about business.
Kellen to know that all your goals that you're trying to achieve, you're going to get them if you stick to the identity of who we are.
Right.
You want to be a head coach, show them that you're able to stick with what's common sense. Because to be honest, that's the thing about Philly that's actually dangerous. It's not that they're good, it's that they have low ego enough to stick with what works. They don't get cute. That's why everybody was so surprised when they didn't convert that 3rd and 1 and that 4th and 1.
And that was on the Green Bay game when they didn't convert the 3rd and 1 and the 4th and 1. And that's the only time this season they didn't convert on a QB sneak.
Right.
Because they always do it the same way. What, QB sneak? Is it pretty? No, but they do what's effective, and they put their ego to the side. So it's one of those things that, like you said, as a young OC going into year 4, we want him to mature. We want him to get just a little bit better. The good news is that he's been surrounded now. Like, the people are circling the wagons with the right wisdom, right? You seeing the wisdom around him with Mike McCarthy. He has more rope to pull his chain. And we seeing that. Mike McCarthy said 2 weeks ago, which is the best thing I heard. He said the #1 thing that I focus on, is making sure that Pollard and Zeke get their touches.
Ooh.
So Mike wasn't able to do that last year.
He wasn't able to do that. Then that's echoing from Coach Jerry Jones, right?
Ooh-wee. And that was 11-29. All right. So then Tedy said what I said. That's what happened. Then Tedy came out this past Sunday and laid it out. He sure did. So let's put the date on there, 12/11, right? On NFL Countdown, this is what Tedy said. Hold on. Oh man, it ain't working. All right. So this is, I'll just tell you. Tedy basically said exactly what I said. He said, what's going to stop the Dallas Cowboys is Kellen Moore being addicted to passing. He said that's what's going to do it. He said if they don't stick to the run game, that's going to kill the Dallas Cowboys. And he said Kellen Moore is basically calling plays like he trying to get a job. Now, I've never in my life talked to Tedy. But at some point, game recognized game.
Yoga fire.
So how do people who have no idea about each other see the exact same pattern on the exact same play caller? It's because we actually paying attention. That's what's going on. Is I'm paying attention. And if you paying attention, and like I see somebody in the chat said, Kellen Moore is fine. He's working on the passing game. Okay, if you believe that, why was he working on the passing game when we was up by 14 versus Green Bay in the fourth quarter? Is that the time to work on the passing game? I'm just asking you a question. I'm not trying to embarrass nobody, but is that the time to throw it 13 times when you ahead? Is that the time to do that? See, cause listen, y'all, we can't cape for front office, and too much of us do that. We cape for coaching and we cape for front office when they are spitting in our face. It's obvious. It's obvious. Yeah, it's very obvious. You don't go up on a team like the Texans who last in versus stopping the run and throw it all day. There's no common sense to that logic. Nothing. So no, Kellen Moore is not fine, and nor are we fine. I asked Dan Rogers when I debated him, I said, what would you do if you had a young OC? What would be the general way that you would protect them? It don't gotta be specific. What would you do? And then he started talking about eventually, because at first he was kind of shaking to come up with something, but then he thought about it. He said, you know what? I would definitely run the ball. I wouldn't have him throwing all day. But that's what Kellen does, even with backups. So for people that really think, oh, we're fine, boss. You're overreacting, boss. We're fine. We're fine, boss. Come on, boss. It's no big deal. Kellen, he's just working on the passing game. Kellen knows what he's doing. No, not if you look in that situational football. If you really look, oh, he said he trolling. Okay. I was like, damn, he must be trolling. But if you look at that situational football, yeah, we are not fine. But hey, y'all, I got a surprise for you that I promise you nobody brought out, especially the media. Guess what? Kellen Moore also admitted that he runs the ball in order to set up the pass. Listen to him versus the Texans and tell me if I am crazy. Here we go. Listen.
Kind of following up on that, just like I said, that I think it was 55 of 76 yards he had in that opening drive, or 75 on the ground. Then you seemed to get away from it a little bit. Was that because of the negative runs on first and second, just kind of took you out of it? But then you start the third and you come back and you run 9 straight times.
Yeah.
So that just the kind of, you take us through that. It's just,
man, hold on, man. First of all, what kind of question was that? Like, I'm trying to figure out. why does the media kiss his butt? Like that question, he was giving him the answer in the question. Oh, it looked like you was out of whack. Did you do that because you was behind a little bit on some of those downs and you just needed to make up for it by actually running too much at the time? Because what are you doing? Like, what's up with the Dallas Cowboys journalists? What's up with these softball questions?
Yoga fire.
I have another theory. I do have a theory. I'm gonna go ahead and say it. See, because I think our media is smart enough to read the tea leaves and they can see that Kellen Moore is likely gonna be our next head coach. So what they doing is they're being very soft on him because they're going to want to be that guy's favorite if he gets the head coaching job. Because they are softer than tissue on Kellen Moore. I dare y'all to go to Dallas.com YouTube and go to the actual interview and read the comments. Just read those YouTube comments. Boy, it's people don't know Boss Cowboy Sports, don't know us for nothing that's saying exactly what I'm saying. It's a whole bunch of people in there that was like, why are they so soft on Kellen? Boy, what's up with these questions? They don't ask him nothing. Why didn't nobody ask him about running the ball or getting off script or not being aligned with his head coach? Go read the comments. I was reading them comments like, how Cowboy Nation is reading this right. But listen, check this out. Listen.
Kind of following up on that, just like I said, I think it was 55 of the 76 yards he had in that opening drive, or 75 on the ground. Then you seemed to get away from it a little bit. Was that because of the negative runs on first and second, just kind of took you out of it? But then you start the third and you come back and you run 9 straight times.
Yeah.
Yeah, he talking about them 9 straight times.
Just to kind of, can you take us through that? Is that what happened? Then you just want to reinforce, well, we need to get the balance back? Or
Did you want to reinforce that we got to get the balance back? That question is so soft, bro.
Certainly, I felt like just the inefficient runs after that first drive. We just weren't able to get those rush attempts so we can keep the game in balance as far as run pass on first and second down. We're into having maybe a couple negative or 0-yard gains there, and so. Looking at it from the halftime perspective, we had a 2-minute drill in there. You had a lot of passing attempts and probably less rush attempts than you had anticipated. And so when we got the turnover that first drive of the second half, we really wanted to finish it off with the run and reestablish that thing. They had been able to kind of sit and shell for a little bit and felt like we need to run it and kind of get this thing back into a 1 high, 2 high battle with this defense. If you could let them just sit in 2 high, it's going to be tough to throw the ball. And so,
there it is. There it is. Listen. He just told you why he runs the ball if you pay attention. Listen.
That thing, they had been able to kind of sit and shell for a little bit and felt like we need to run it and kind of get this thing back into a 1 high, 2 high battle with this defense.
So you want to run the ball so that they can get into a 1 high versus 2 high battle. So you basically want them to get out of that 2 high shell to come down to basically a 1 safety so that you can throw. Listen.
Let them just sit in 2 high, it's going to be tough to throw the ball. And so we weren't able to finish it, but I felt like we were at least able to get a few runs in that drive that gave us some positives.
Bro, Kellen Moore just told the world that versus the Texans, that he was running the ball in order to go back to passing. He just told y'all to y'all face. But it's still gonna be some people that's gonna cape for him. It's gonna be Cowboy fans, maybe some content creators. I ain't heard any, but I guarantee they somewhere Somebody talking about Kellen Moore is doing good. I love how Kellen Moore is evolving. So on the team that's ranked last at stopping a run, his strategy was, I want to run the ball so that I could open it up to throw it. Yeah.
Following up on that, just like I said, after I think it was 55 of the 76 yards he had in that opening drive.
Listen.
75.
Kind of get this thing back into a one high, two high battle with this defense. If you could let them just sit in too high, it's going to be tough to throw the ball. And so, thing back into a one high, two high battle with this defense. If you could let them just sit in too high, it's going to be tough to throw the ball. And so, weren't able to finish it, but get this thing back into a one high, two high battle with this defense. If you could let them just sit in too high, it's going to be tough to throw the ball. And so, weren't able to finish it, but.
Hold on, man. Some of y'all, I don't know if you trolling, bro, or what. Are you serious, bro? All right. I'm gonna take your comment. I'm gonna address it. He said you have to pass. Can't run all day. Do you really think that's what I'm saying, Jeff? Are you playing right now? Are you trolling? Are you serious? So what in this presentation make you think I'm saying run the ball all day? What make you think that? Is this a joke? Hold on. First of all, are you a Dallas Cowboy fan? I need to know that. I need to know who I'm talking to. Are you a fan of the Dallas Cowboys? That's what I need to know, because there was a lot of Philly people in here yesterday. I need to make sure I'm not talking to a troll before I start addressing that. But no, I'm definitely not saying run the ball every play. But I'm definitely saying that in the first half of the past 3 games, we was way off balance from pass to run ratios. And every one of those games, we lost the first half. Every one of them. And then in the second half, he started running the ball to get his quota back. And then once he got back on his quota, okay, so maybe because this is the deal. I already know. I'm gonna be honest. Boss Cowboy Sports is really a channel for people who really want to understand concepts. Like, it's not for everybody. Just to be honest, this is not a place to where super casuals are going to relate. Because we talking kind of more NFL concepts. So if anybody think that I'm saying that we need to run the ball every play, or I'm saying I don't want us to pass at all, you likely are trolling or just not understanding what I'm saying. So let me be clear to everybody. What will make Kellen Moore a better play caller is, first of all, creative runs, not just running, but creative runs. That's 1. 2, not just ending the game in balance, but more so having balance in every offensive series. That's what you want to see. And for people that don't understand it, let me explain balance. You want to see about 50% or higher a run to pass ratio. Because when I broke it down play by play per series, every time we was balanced or we had a higher ratio of running the ball, we scored. The only time we didn't was this previous game where we ran the ball 9 times in a row and we didn't elect to take the 3 points. Yeah. So, okay. I got you. See, this is the thing. I'm glad he talking, because this gives me a chance to address this type of thinking. Offense, one of the best. He doing something right. Matter of fact, change that to Dak. The offense is top only when Dak is playing. When Dak is not playing, we the worst or right there at the bottom. So what that's really saying is Dak Prescott is the cologne on his boo-boo smell. Because Kellen tried the dumb offense of throwing the ball around with backups and lost every time. So we really need to give credit to who is due. The credit for Kellen's success is Dak. Dak is why his offense is number one. It's not Kellen. Because every time you take his offense and you put it on another quarterback where his system's supposed to be superior. See, I can understand some drop off between Dak and your backup, but it's like falling off a cliff without Dak. So why would I give the OC credit? So yeah, so real quick, let me take some phone calls real quick. We gonna take us some calls. All right, we gonna take us some calls, man. Let y'all call in and we'll talk about it. Well, we talked about a lot today. We talked about obviously T. Smith. We talked about Michael Parsons. We talked about the new prospect, and then we talked about Kellen Moore on that quota system. Now, before I present something, because I wanted to present more data today and go line by line on his series and look at the ratios of run to pass and judge each series. I have not finished that homework yet. I have not. So I'm not go present what's not finished. So I'm just not gonna do that. But let me get these phone lines back up real quick. Y'all give me 1 second. And then I'll take some calls. Give me 1 second. Here we go. So the phone line is 213-205-9022. 213-205-9022. So y'all call on in, and y'all already know if you don't call on in, I'm gonna shut down the show. And I do know it was a late show. I caught a lot. Yeah, forgive me. I had to restart my computer about 4 times. So I'm starting to have some issues. So, but anyway, we got the phone line open, man. If y'all want to call in, hold on real quick. Let me take this comment while I'm waiting on y'all to call. Russell said, "Boss, there are folks who actually think Kellen in line for head coaching job. Blasphemy." And Russell, he is. I think some people go look at Kellen. I think some teams go look at Kellen. I just think most of them go see through Kellen. See, because this is how I see it, Russell. The reason why we picking Kellen apart is because this is our team and we really break down our team, right? So most of us, well, I ain't gonna say most of us, some of us see through Kellen, right? Some of us see clear through him. But on the surface, just like you had a guy say, our offense is top, he doing something right. It's somebody out there with another team that's gonna look at our number one and go say, you know what? Let me go take a look at this offensive coordinator because this guy has the number one offense with Dak. So it's almost like this. So if somebody pull up on you and they have a Ferrari and they say, I'm interested in selling the car, you go be interested because it's a Ferrari. You go be interested. You go be like, you know what? How much you want to sell it for? You go be interested. So the number one offense is gonna cause people to be interested. But you also, because you're trying to buy that car, unless you're a fool, you go do your due diligence on that car. Yeah. So Kellen is pulling up because of Dak, and he looks like, on the outside looking in, a Ferrari. That's what he looked like. But then smart owners are gonna look under the hood and they go check under them mats. They go look at that metal, and they go say, "Hold on, man. Why do I see rust? Has this car been in a flood?" See, when they look under the hood, they go say, "Hey, man, I know your offense number one, but can you explain to me why is it only number one when you have Dak? I mean, you had a lot of quarterbacks in your system, and without Dak, it's like your offense is womp womp." Hey, man, I also noticed that your head coach was saying is against option routes, and you was running option routes all the way during the system. Like, what made you go against Mike McCarthy? Yeah, what made you go against Mike McCarthy? You know? And so Jeff, this is the last time I'm gonna address you on this, because actually, Jeff, I think you've been here too much for me to be saying the same things. So either you're not paying attention or you just stubborn. I don't know what it is, but I've addressed this many times. So Dak has not passed 300 yards. They must be running. All right. So if we dig into the facts, Mike McCarthy said that the number one thing that he focused on is making sure during the games Zeke and Pollard get their touches. So if your boss during the game is just fully focused on the attempts and touches of the running backs, is that the offensive coordinator or is that the OC? I mean, the head coach. It's the head coach. So if the head coach is basically saying, I make sure Kellen don't get pass happy. That's basically what he's saying. Yeah, and that might be true, Mucho. Like, maybe I don't know, bro. But I refuse. You know what, Mucho? It's not. I'm almost certain that it's not me. I'm very clear, bro. I've showed documentation after documentation that Mike McCarthy said multiple times that our identity of running the ball is the winning identity. And I showed the very week that Mike McCarthy said, I don't see us changing. Kellen Moore came right back and said, there are going to be games we have to throw the ball. Which is a direct contradiction to the head coach. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? That's a direct contradiction. But still, people and some of our fans and a lot of the media want to give Kellen credit for running the ball. No. If I got a manager standing over me, making me run the ball, I should not get credit for calling run plays, because it's not me that's doing it. It's my boss making sure I do it. Why do you think he came out and ran it 9 times in a row? You don't think Mike McCarthy had a talk with him when we was losing to the Texans in the first half? You don't think he came to him and said, hey, man, you passed it 23 times and ran it 11 times while Zeke was averaging 6 yards a carry. Why are you so out of whack on your balance? So Mr. Quota come out and he run it freaking 9 times in a row. That's quota. Hold on. I missed the call. I'm calling you now, James. Hold on. James, I'm calling you now. I'm calling you now, James. I'm not gonna explain it no more though. I'm good. If you don't understand it, you don't want to understand it. Because I know I'm speaking clear. I'm not gonna play no games. James. Hold on. James.
Yes, sir.
What's up, man?
Hey, what's going on, man? Hey, man, great show, man. Hey, we got an offense. I'm just gonna go. We got an offensive coordinator that has a different philosophy from the head coach, and because of that, you know, they butt heads when it comes to, you know, running plays versus passing plays. Kellen Moore does not know how to. He does not know how to go with the flow of the game. He just feels like he has to throw. If your offense is averaging 5 yards per carry, like Aaron Rodgers said when he went off the sideline and he looked at his head coach and he said, "Run the fucking ball."
Right. That's what he said. That's exactly what he said. Yeah.
He looked right in his head coach's eyes.
Yep.
And he said that to him. We all saw it.
I saw it.
So this is what I say. If Dak understands flow of the game, Dak need to do the same thing. He need to go up to not Mike McCarthy, because Mike McCarthy wants to run the ball. Yep. He need to go right to Kellen Moore and tell him, "Look, man, we need to run the damn ball.
Right.
We need to run the ball." So I partly put that on Dak, but I'm not totally putting it on Dak because Dak doesn't call the plays.
Right.
Kellen Moore called the plays. And Kellen Moore is going to be the problem why we do not win 6.
Yep.
If he don't get it in check. And looking at his track record, he hasn't gotten it in check. We shouldn't have threw the ball 39 times last game.
Nope.
That shit was ridiculous. When we was up by 14 in Green Bay, we shouldn't have been throwing the ball. We should have been running the ball. When we lost to Philly, Zeke was averaging over 5 yards a carry. What we do with a backup quarterback, throw the ball 39 times a game. It's like 39 is his magic number. 39 and above is his magic number. So when we get on your show, and I rock with you, boss.
Yeah.
When we get on your show and we talking about running the ball, anybody that says that you're just gonna line up and run the ball each and every time, you gotta be a damn idiot. We're not talking like that. You can run the ball to make them safeties creep up, and then you do that play action pass, and you can hit them deep. You can hit them across the middle. There's a lot of things you can do with that. But the team that we have a smash mouth, run the ball team. This team is not like it was built last year.
Right.
And Kellen Moore as an offensive coordinator, and he doesn't even deserve that title. He doesn't understand that. He thinks that his system is going to work regardless of who he got. And it's not like that. Nope. And check this out, boss. I'm going to say this and I'm going to roll out.
All right.
I remember when CD used to look frustrated, right?
Mm-hmm.
You see him, he throw his hands in the air and all that shit. And we was kind of down on him because of that. Now you gotta think. Was he down because maybe, the passes weren't thrown right? Or was he down over this bullshit offense?
Ooh.
These route running concepts.
Ooh.
Was he down on that?
Ooh.
Because we dog CD for that.
Ooh.
We was like, man, his energy jacked up.
Ooh.
Hey, you know what? If you played for Kellen Moore and the way that he run his offense, just like Amari was down on it, CD, he can be down on it too.
Ooh.
So that got to tell you something about Kellen Moore.
Yes.
All right, boss. I'm gonna let you have it, man. I'm gonna get back to my phone.
All right, man. Hey, that was James. Yeah. And see, that's why I say, man, I already know. Sometimes I already know this. This channel ain't for everybody. Boss Cowboy Sports.
Boss.
Hey, turn me down in the back.
Hello?
Turn me down in the back.
Okay, hold on, boss. Hold on. Turn me down in the back. Okay, boss. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay. all of Cowboy Nation needs to listen up. After all we've been through for 26 plus years, 27 years, whatever it is exactly, here's the problem. Jerry Jones has said it many times. He would write a check for a huge amount of money to win a Super Bowl. Mm-hmm. Well, what he needs to do is just forget the money. How bad do you want it, Jerry? If you really want it, then let McCarthy be the head coach of this football team. And dial back Pookie Moore. Because it's going to destroy us, boss.
It is.
Look, our worst nightmare is seeing the talent we have from offense, defense, special teams. Yep. Like the game in Minnesota was perfect illustration.
Ooh.
If we do this right, boss, we'll have a 6th ring.
Yes.
But I do not want to go through the rest of the season and have Pookie Moore show his stupid crack self, and we're all disappointed and crying after the game. So this is just sick, boss. It's sick. I'm sorry, but I'm just so sick and tired of this.
Yeah. I'm glad to hear your passion. I'm glad to hear fans understand this. You know what I mean? And I'm sick with you, brother. Keep talking though. I'm loving it.
Hey man.
All right.
Hey, we thank you. Hey, all of Cowboy community, all of us. We thank you so much for what you're doing. And I will tell you, I know Voch and all of them listen, or not know, but have, followed them. Look, boss, you are the absolute best. Okay, and I'm not saying that to blow your head up, but you are the best because nobody else is doing this. So it's up to all of us to share this content, get it to as many people as we can, and hopefully, and this is another thing, boss, just asking you, is there any way you could start saying Jerry Jones' name a little more and Stephen Jones so it gets out to where they might want to look and see exactly what you're saying? Because you said something the other day that was perfect. You said that, hey, if I send them a video, they're not going to watch it. But they need to watch it. And we do know that some people in the organization is watching it. Because you'll bring something up, and we'll see that it's being a little bit of change in here and there. But our problem is Kellen Moore is sabotaging this team. Because here's what's going to happen. If we lose in the playoffs, he's probably going to get rid of McCarthy, which is a big, stupid mistake, and elevate Kellen Moore. Then what do we got? We got nothing but headaches. Hey, man. Hey, thank you so much. Please keep doing what you're doing, brother. Please. And listen, when you got some time, give me a call sometime so you can help me so I can help support the channel. Hey, God bless you guys, man. You're amazing.
Thank you, big dog. I appreciate it, brother. Hey, hit me up on that DM, bro. Hit me up on the Facebook DM or the Twitter DM, all right? And with your number, and I'll call you, all right?
Okay, I will. All right, brother. We'll talk soon.
Okay. See, that's what I'm talking about. I didn't get his name. Damn. But whoever that was, he get it. He get it. That's exactly what I'm talking about, bro. Like, because if you've been keeping up, and he obviously has, whoever that guy was, damn, I'm so sorry I didn't get your name, bro. I'm so sorry. But whoever that was, he get it. Like, if you really, really, really see the warnings, and how many warnings have I gave that we saw happen directly as I warned it? See, Tedy wasn't the first one to talk about Kellen Moore call plays like he trying to get a job. And I came up with that because I was like, bro, he's not calling plays based on logic. That means it's another motive. And the motive is likely very unpure or just dumb. It's one of those two. And I don't think Kellen is dumb. I don't think he's dumb. I think he's smart. So I think he's up to something. That's why I said it way before Tedy. I was like, man, he trying to get paid. That's what this looked like. And I'm being honest. It looked like he trying to get paid. Yeah. This is likely about money. And that's why when you see us go against weaker teams, he come out throwing. It makes no sense to throw the ball 40 plus times on Green Bay and they was ranked 26 on. It's not logical. It's just not. So listen, y'all. Just like my brother said on that call, we just got to get to work. Like, I know some people, and I see some people do this. They come in, they say, oh, you talking about Kellen Moore again? And then they leave. I'm like, all right, bye. Yeah, I'm talking about Kellen Moore. Yeah. And see, I already know the spirit of that type of comment. That's like, oh, here we go again. As if it's not important. As if we don't have evidence this year that I have my finger on the most important issue. But some people, they just really want cheerleading content. Listen, we got to change on that. The fans got to change. As long, because I do understand. This game is also about feeling good. I get it. Like, nobody want to walk out feeling like the future is hopeless. That's not what I'm doing. What I'm doing is I'm showing what's in front of us so that we can take action. This is not about complaining. This is about organizing a grass movement with your voice mattering to put ideas out there that can potentially help us win a championship. That has always been the mantra of Boss Cowboy Sports. It's going to always be the mantra of Boss Cowboy Sports. That's what we do. So when you hear stuff like this, and as I see new stuff and I hear him admit to stuff like he did, where he basically admitted to our face, he admitted that his whole goal of running the ball was to open it back up to pass.
And felt like we need to run it and kind of get this thing back into a one high, two high battle with this defense. If you could let them just sit in too high, it's going to be tough to throw the ball. And so you didn't. Oh, I need to run the ball because I got to get them back into a 2-eye. See, that's he 2-eye, 1-eye. See, it's all chess. It's no thoughts of we need to run the ball because we can take the wheel of this team. See, he don't talk like that. We need to run the ball because this team can't stop the run. We just bigger, we more physical, and we getting ready to bully this team. See, no, we need to run the ball so we can get them into a 2-high, 1-high kind of shootout, and then we're gonna be able to run the ball. See, he telling you I run the ball just to pass it way more. And on top of this, and then I'm almost out of here. But he said, I couldn't even imagine Kellen Moore trying to motivate a locker room.
Yoga fire.
Okay. He said, Kellen got issues, but let's not act like he's a bum. No, we gonna act like he's a bum. No, we gonna act like up in this house that he's a bum. Because he does stuff like he's a bum. Yes, he does a lot of stuff like he is a straight up dumb bum. So when you come out with Ben DiNucci and you throw it 40 times, that's a bum. When you got Gilbert and you throw it 38 times, that's a bum. When you have Cooper Rush on the roll by running the ball, and then you come out on Philly and throw it 38 times and lose, that's a bum. When you have Dak Prescott coming off a lat injury with no training camp and you throw it 49 times and lose the game, that's a bum. When you lost every one of the first halves because you was off on your ratio on pass to run, that's a bum. We need to stop capping and caping for this dude. I don't know what's up with our fans to where we like to protect Kellen as he's sabotaging your team. How much evidence do you need? How much evidence do you need? Every time he comes, our pass happen, we lose, and then we be like, but we're okay, boss. So am I the only one who noticed that we're not doing the identity that we talked about all off season? Who remember them guys talking about San Fran? We need to be more physical. We saw that San Fran was more physical, so we wanted players that was gonna have us come with the right identity, and we was gonna establish physicality. Well, where is it? And let me ask you a question. How do you establish physicality when you coming out in every one of these games throwing? Mike McCarthy said himself, I would pull the quote. Mike McCarthy said himself, you don't want your team passing too much because you get your offensive linemen on their heels. And you don't want your big boys on their heels too much. How did Terrence Steele get hurt? On his heels.
Yoga fire.
He was on his heels when he got hurt. And then I would talk about all these facts and y'all would still come in here and cape for Kellen. I don't get it, bro. How can you get facts on facts on facts and still cape for that dude? Like, I'm not giving opinions. I'm showing you his quote. I'm showing you Mike McCarthy's quote. And we will still cape for Kellen. We will put on a Superman cape to rescue him. Kellen, Boss Cowboys getting on you. Here I come. I'm getting ready to rescue you. Here's my cape. No, y'all need to figure out who the real good guy is. It's me. It's Tedy Bruschi. Yeah, the people that's calling him out, it's Mike McCarthy. Those are the real heroes. Those are the superheroes. Yeah, it's Mike McCarthy. Mike McCarthy is the one that said, I don't see us changing. He said our team should be built on Pollard and Zeke. That's what Mike McCarthy said. But that's not what we're seeing out of Kellen. See, some of y'all go cape for Kellen and he go be your head coach. And we ain't gonna win nothing if he our head coach. It ain't gonna even happen. It's gonna be Jason Garrett part 2, but worse.
Bruh. Finish it. Bruh. Finish it. Bruh. Finish it. Bruh. Finish it.
Boss Cowboy Sports, where your voice matters. Boss Cowboy Sports.